thing with the editing. So this was Negel's fourth speaking project. So here the point was to use words to either get us to look at something from a different way or to change your opinion on something. And Negel used an interesting technique at the beginning because he started with kind of a statement. So when something bad happens, we tend to blame someone who's in the immediate vicinity. And then he followed this up with a video, and the video was very appropriate, I think, to his speech, because one, it was very short, so it didn't distract too much. I think it was less than 30 seconds.
Exactly.
And it was funny, so it made a lot of people laugh. And in a way, it also ridiculed people's belief system. In this case, the video ridiculed people having a prejudice towards Arabic people or maybe Islamic people, because all the guy did was chant something in what was supposedly Arabic. I don't think it was. It sounded a little bit like Arabic. And then he left a bag, and just because he left a bag, everyone took off. So yeah, this got the message. Why are people acting so ridiculous? Why do you take off just because someone chants something in Arabic and drops a bag? So that kind of set the tone, right, for the speech. It made us, at least it made me question, how is he going to, what's coming after this? What's going to happen now? And then he took this he used humor to get our attention, and then he followed up to take us to a quite serious topic. So Islamophobia in the world, and specifically after the 2001 incidents, we have this increase of people having a prejudice towards people who they think are following the Muslim faith. So he, in a way, he questioned, why is that? Why do we have this? And then as a reason he found this, well, there were all these people who thought themselves to be martyrs, who were suicide bombers. And yes, there were a lot of attacks. But then he questioned also interesting, because so there was this attack in 2001, and immediately he said, what happens immediately after and before these events? What do the press do? And it was very interesting, because what happened after 2001? The global war on terror started. Well, it made me question, well, who benefits from a global war on terror? Do the terrorists benefit from that? Who benefits? So the content was very risque, because I think you risked hurting people's feelings with some of where you followed with that. But I think your point was to get people to question what is really going on, and in that point you were successful. Now then you went on to saying, well, what is the cause of this? What was the instrument for all this prejudice? Well, these were these martyrs, and they are using justification they can find in religious texts. And then I think you researched also the Quran, and you saw there's nothing in the Quran justifying that, but there was some text called the Book of Huri, which I didn't even know, but written by
Authentic 6.
But I think it's a quite important texture, because obviously it's coming from the Prophet Muhammad. So if you use a texture like that, I think you should be quite careful, because if it's something coming from a prophet of a major world religion, it's very risky for you as a speaker. And it has a lot of different viewpoints. I remember, this is not related to a speech, but I remember a few months ago I watched a video on YouTube. And so the martyrs used this Muslim text, but they were making quotes from the Bible. Specifically the Old Testament of the Bible, and it was to happen in Holland, and they pretended that it was the Quran, and they wrote random people on the street, and they said, is this? And everyone, when they said it's from the Quran, oh, this is a terrible religion, how can they say that? And then they removed the cover, and it was the Bible. So you can find these type of textures in all type of religious texts, I think. And you have to be careful, because at the end of the message can be interpreted. I interpreted a little bit like are you making ridicule of the texture there, or are you making ridicule of the martyr who actually believe it to be like that? Because I think the texture can be interpreted in a different way. I mean, you made kind of fun with the plus 18. He will be blessed with an eternal erection. Okay? But when you think back at that time when it was written, it was a male-dominated society. And if it was written by old men, they remember the pleasure of youth. And maybe he meant you will be blessed with eternal pleasure. So But the way you said it, I think some people can interpret it as ridicule. So I ask you to improve yourself as a speaker. The one message here is to be careful about that. Try not to offend anyone. You can question, you can ridicule, but try to do it in a way that is not offensive. The other thing that maybe you pay attention to for your next speech is also when you use the projection, there's a key. I noticed it was on your face. There's a key, I think it's the W key, is it? To turn the projector on and off.
E.
E, B. You just hit the key and it immediately turns on and off. But yeah, this was a, you know, some people ask me sometimes at Toastmasters, can we speak about religion? Can we speak about sex? Can we speak about these topics? Yes, you can. There's the guidelines of Toastmasters International is you can speak about anything you like in this club. But when you make a speech, especially a risque one like you have to be willing to face your audience. So keep that in mind. Who is your audience? And keep in mind the feelings, especially if you touch religion. That's a very risky subject, but you managed to do it. So congratulations, it was a good speech.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you, David.